103.5 FM.
It's 12 o'clock. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Starr Midday News. And coming up in the bulletin, family of East Legon car crash victims demand amendment of the Juvenile Justice Act, describing the 6-month sentencing of the perpetrator, Bishop Salifo Mako's son, as unsatisfactory.
Through reckless driving.
Also ahead in the bulletin, President-elect John Dramani Mahama insists Operation Recover All Loot is not a witch-hunting body, revealing that the team newly set up will only coordinate complaints that come through.
Oral is not going to be investigating people. It's going to gather the evidence and pass on that evidence to the government institutions that are supposed to do that kind of work.
National organizer of the NDC, Joseph Yamin, accuses Precious Minerals Marketing Company Limited of peddling falsehood over the gold bar seizure saga, as he denies allegations of attempting to seize gold bars meant for the Bank of Ghana.
And so, this gold we're talking about is not gold that they picked from Bank of Ghana.
Okay, they picked it from private.
And so
private refineries.
And they export it for them.
Also in the bulletin, Electoral Commission to resume collation of results for disputed constituencies will be live at the EC's headquarters for more on this. And later, Ghana Health Service cautions the citizens to be wary during the festive season, warning that there could be a surge in cholera cases after the festive season.
The festive season is basically meant to have fun. Yes, so in having fun, you drink, you eat, you do all manner of things. And in turn, if we don't take care of ourselves during the festive season or after the festive season, we might have surge of cases again.
Details of these stories and many more coming up shortly. Stay tuned in. Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA, also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM. Starr News. Informed, in depth, in touch. You're welcome once again to the Starr Midday News on Starr 103.5 FM here in Accra, coming to you live from our studios at the Platinum Place. My name is Na Dede Tete, and we'll start off from the Electoral Commission, where it is set to resume the recollation or collation exercise in some of the constituencies. As you do know, the Commission had to halt the collation of some disputed election results due to supporters besieging some of the collation centers. Our man, Obed Kingaglo, is at the EC headquarters. He will be joining us over the telephone line to bring us some details in relation to this position taken by the NDC. You would recall that, for instance, in Ansawame Dwedri, the NDC actually sought an injunction to stop the Electoral Commission from proceeding with the exercise. Let's go over the telephone line and speak to Obed Kingaglo, who is there for us. Obed, what more can you tell us in relation to the collation exercise that the Electoral Commission is set to resume?
Right, so now the commissioners are yet to address the press. We see them working now, but essentially they are yet to address the press. But the agenda for today's press conference is basically, as you mentioned, it's about the outstanding constituencies that the EC says were illegally declared. These constituencies include the Tema Central Constituency, the Okankwe Central Constituency, the Dom Kwabena Constituency, and the Abiskuma North Constituency. According to the Electoral Commission, these constituencies were declared illegally because they did not follow the laydown procedures as enshrined in CI 127. And so they believe that the process must be looked at. Apart from that, earlier last week, the Commission also held a press conference and reviewed that the recoalition process for the Afano Southwest constituency, Afano North constituency, Obuasi East constituency, and the Setiman South constituency are yet to be done. And so these are top on the agenda for this press conference. In no time, we believe that the Commissioner will come and address the press.
All right, Obed, thank you very much. Obed Kingaglo is a man at the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. He tells us that the commissioners are about taking their seats and they will be providing some updates in relation to the disputed election results in some of the constituencies, Ablikuma North being one of them. Definitely will bring you the details in relation to this story once we get that information. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Now let's move on to a case that many Ghanaians have been interested in, the unfortunate accident, unfortunate car crash that led to the deaths of some two girls following a crash involving the son of Salifu Amwako, who was driving at top speed and ran into the vehicle carrying the two girls. Unfortunately, they all lost their lives. Well, grandmother of Justine Agbenu, one of the two deceased girls in the car crash at East Legon, is demanding an amendment to the Juvenile Justice Act. It follows the sentencing of the perpetrator, who is the 16-year-old son of Bishop Salifu Amwako, to 6 months detention at the Senior Correctional Center. Now, on October 12, 2024, two 12-year-old girls, Justine Agbenu and Mami Jumo Boateng, were trapped in a burning vehicle after the perpetrator crashed into them. He pleaded guilty to 8 counts, including 2 counts of manslaughter. The court also ordered his father, Bishop Salifu Amwako, to pay over 8,000 cedis for damages to the light pole destroyed at the scene of the accident. Was speaking to Star News after court proceedings. Justine Agbenu's grandmother, visibly saddened by the turnout of events, was short of words.
Court like I say, Busuminsia, send them Ranikano, Efanuko Senior Correction Center. And to Musumuts Nemo, who near Posibia,
name of Mono. I mean, Pompey is a bit and run a business. Also, to include through reckless driving.
You heard the grandmother of one of the deceased, Justine Agbenu, that's a grandmother speaking there. She says that, well, she has nothing really to say, and that you can't essentially kill 2 people like that and just go into custody for 6 months, that there ought to be some amendment in relation to the juvenile side. Let's go to some of the reactions on social media. Edem Kojo, you have been picking some of the reactions on social media. What have people been saying in connection to this particular incident?
Now, clearly, lots of people are not happy. And so the very first comment that comes through is from one David Ni Ajaye.
Kindly speak up.
Okay, so clearly people have not been happy. And the very first comment is from David Ni Ajaye, who says, does this mean moving forward people are allowed to unalive someone and also get 6 months? Because this verdict makes no sense. And if that's the case, then we are in a big trouble as a country. I do believe this case should be reviewed again for the right justice to be served. Now, Etiahene comes in to say he killed 2 people in his irresponsible driving act and he gets to be sentenced just 6 months. Ghana, our justice system only works against the poor. But someone comes in and gives a correction that 6 months, so this is from OK Cephas, that 6 months is the maximum sentence for a minor, irrespective of the crime. In any case, this is not a criminal case. The parents of the children that perish should sue the boy's parents. Now, someone comes in and also says, is that maximum sentence required by law for a minor? Can someone please explain this to me? And then it goes on and on. How could it be possible in this country, killing 2 innocent children through reckless driving? And this is the number of months he's going to serve. I wonder if he will be going for holidays after. So these are some of the comments that are coming through. But I'll read this last one from who says, before you come as the judge and judiciary, please read the Juvenile Justice Act of Ghana that was passed by Parliament and address all your issues to Parliament. Thank you. This is from Dilulu, but like spicy.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Adam Kojo bringing us some of the reactions on social media in connection to this sentencing of Salifu Amwako's son. Well, there have been lots and lots of reactions to this. A lot of people are not entirely happy about it. But then again, that's what the law says. Let's move on and bring you some other stories. President-elect John Dramani Mahama has refuted assertions that the Operation Recover or Loot, popularly known as ORAL, is a witch-hunting body. Now, this clarification comes in the wake of concerns from various quarters who perceive the committee's investigation as targeted attacks and score settling against certain individuals, especially those in the outgoing government. A former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansasari, yesterday raised questions about the integrity of some of the anti-corruption team members, urging the president-elect to reselect members of the team. He spoke on the Morning Star.
I have a problem with one or two. One or two, of the names mentioned are, a controversial figure.
Which of those are? Which are those?
Accused. For instance, Kofi Boakye. Kofi Boakye, had to presidential commission for stated misbehavior, corrupting. There's this Benjamin saying that Georgina Wu, had to deal with. Then Kujetu Abrakwa. He's a controversial figure. I don't think the president should begin, with controversial names. You need people whose conduct has not been found to be reprehensible, in their public, life, public office life, So that is one. Number two, the inclusion of the former Auditor General will be like trying to score a political go against the MPP, because you remember, I should draw your attention to the Melo saga with the MPP, where even the Supreme Court that found for him had to wait 3 years before they returned their verdict. So I wouldn't put him on it. It would be as if is to score is being used as a conduit to achieve the aims and objectives of JM. So I wouldn't.
So you had the former director of the Ghana School of Law, Kweku Ansasari, but speaking during a courtesy call on him by the Canada High Commission in Ghana, President-elect John Dramani Mahama insisted that the activities is not to witch hunt anybody. Now, he added that the team was only to coordinate complaints and its effectiveness will rely on collaborative efforts across the political spectrum and among civil society. Have a listen.
I announced the preparatory committee, and I think people are misunderstanding it. We're receiving a lot of information on things that are going wrong, or things, corruption scandals and all that. Some send me texts on my phone, some call me, others pass through other people. We want a focal point where all that evidence is directed, and so that they can assemble that evidence. And once we come into office, Oral is not going to be investigating people. It's going to gather the evidence and pass on that evidence to the government institutions that are supposed to do that kind of work. And so we just want that if people have any information that they think is useful in the fight against corruption, pass it on to this team. That's what the team is about. And they're all doing that service pro bono. They are not expecting any payment. There's no expenditure or budget associated with the task that they're carrying out. And so that's the explanation for it. Yeah. And so I don't think that people should think that it's a witch hunting committee. They have no brooms to fly at night. So I can assure people that it's not meant to witch hunt, people.
You heard the President-elect John Dramani Mahama. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's remain on issues relating to government resources and alleged attempts by some people to loot. Well, the national organizer of the NDC, Joseph Yamin, has accused the Precious Minerals Marketing Commission of peddling falsehood over the gold bar seizure saga. Now, he has denied allegations of attempting to seize the gold bars meant for the Bank of Ghana. In a statement released by the PMMC, they accused Joseph Yamin of forcibly seizing the gold bars that were being processed on behalf of the central bank under the Domestic Gold Purchase Program. Here are excerpts of the statement issued by the PMMC.
The Precious Minerals Marketing Company, PPMC, which by law acts as the national assayer, has noted with deep concern an incident that occurred at the National Assay Center located at the Aviance Cargo Terminal, where a mob led by a gentleman who identified himself as Mr. Joseph Yamin, the national organizer of the National Democratic Congress NDC, forcibly attempted to seize bullion bars being processed by PMMC for the Central Bank of Ghana. The incident occurred on Tuesday, 17th December 2024, between the hours of 1600 Greenwich Meridian Time, lasting till about 12 midnight. The bullion bars belong to the Bank of Ghana as part of the ongoing Domestic Gold Purchase Program, DGPP, which was launched as far back as June 2021. The bullion bars were being assayed to confirm their weights, purity, and consequently value. It was during this assay that the process was disrupted by a mob led by Mr. Yamin, with the allegation that the said bullion bars were being smuggled secretly out of Ghana by certain political actors, which allegation is false. It is worthy to note that a private exporter who is duly licensed to carry out exports was also affected by this unfortunate incident. The gold which was being processed for export by the private licensed exporter was also added to the bullion belonging to the Bank of Ghana. This unlawful action is deeply regrettable and has the potential to cause significant harm to Ghana's reputation on the international bullion market.
You had the excess of a statement issued by the Precious Minerals Marketing Company Limited. But Joseph Yamin says that the statement does not reflect what transpired. He spoke exclusively to me on the Morning Star earlier today. Have a listen.
The PMMC guy says that the gold they were exporting was from private refineries. That is what they told us.
Okay.
In the presence of all the security people. And our question was straight. Is it for Bank of Ghana? Because the gold for oil, whatever trade, is done by the Bank of Ghana, not PMMC. PMMC buys these goods, and government of Ghana takes it. Immediately, the government of Ghana take possession of it to do the exchange program. It has to be in the safety and the care of Bank of Ghana. PMMC washes its hands off these gold because it's now the property of the state. At this point, as we were talking, PMMC told us that they also do exporting for private trade.
Okay.
And so, this gold we're talking about is not gold that they picked from Bank of Ghana.
Okay, they picked it from private.
Yes, and so
private refineries.
Refineries, and they export it for them. All they did that day was to get Bank of Ghana security to come and police them to the safer grounds of the airport for them to be able to do the transaction. That is from the PMMC guy that time. Then we asked the head of security of Bank of Ghana who brought it. That is the consignment for Bank of Ghana. He categorically stated that no. So the police commander asked him, at what point did you join the consignment to the airport? He said they were called in, the PMMC were in the process of exporting the gold out of the country, and that they should come in and should, in case they are unable to finish the process today, they can take the things back to Bank of Ghana, safe grounds.
You heard there the national organizer of the National Democratic Congress, Joseph Yamin. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's go back to issues relating to the Electoral Commission, and the elections arbiter has assured that alternative methods are available to verify the results of the Ablekuma North Constituency parliamentary elections despite the destruction of ballot papers in a fire. The fire, which occurred at the Kwashiman cluster of schools on Tuesday, December 17, 2024, destroyed electoral materials, including ballot papers and pink sheets. In an interview on the sidelines of an event hosted by the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD, Dr. Srebo Kweku, Director for Training at the Electoral Commission, said despite the destruction, alternative verification methods are in place to enforce the will of the voter.
The ballot boxes have been bent, but as I said, we have results in other forms. So once we are able to gather the results from the other forms, once they are complete, we can.
So the public should not be worried about that.
That's my view. Because my point is that we should not set the precedent that somebody can truncate the process. Because if it becomes that, then the survival of the fittest, the one who can bully his way or her way, becomes the winner. But I don't think we should get there. So we should not accept any form. If that is the decision of the voter, it should be upheld. So we should do anything that will uphold the decision of the voter, not technicalities. That's my view.
You heard the Dr. Srebo Kweku. He is the Director of Training at the Electoral Commission. We'll be getting a reaction from the opposition NDC. Deputy Director of Elections for the NDC, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computers, joined me over the telephone line. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us here on the Star Midday News.
Let me say good afternoon to you and your cherished listeners.
All right. The Electoral Commission says that, for instance, the Ablekuma North constituency elections, we've had a situation where, unfortunately, some people touched the room containing the electoral materials and other rooms in the school. Now, the Electoral Commission says that they have alternative methods in place to enforce the will of the people. Are you aware of some of these alternative methods in place?
Very well. That has been our stand. Ballot papers have no role at the collation center. When results are collated and declared, the only primary source we rely on are the pink sheet and then the summary and collation forms. These are the three important documents that we rely on. And those documents doesn't go into the ballot boxes. Normally, after the results are counted and declared or announced at the polling stations, the ballot papers are sent back into the ballot box with other materials and sealed. But the pink sheet doesn't get into the ballot box. So the pink sheet goes to the collation center, where they use that one to collate the results onto the Form 1C and the Form 1D and declared. And so if a result is declared at the collation center and you go about burning ballot papers, you are wasting everybody's time. You can always rely on the pink sheet. So long as you have the pink sheet available, you can still do any exercise you want to do with it.
Okay. Also, the Electoral Commission is set to address the press. By now, it should be in the process of doing so. It has signaled that it is going to resume the coalition of some of the disputed constituencies. As you do know, they had to put some of them on hold. Has this come to your attention?
They cannot continue the coalition. It's illegal. We have injuncted the process. We've put them on notice.
Have you injuncted the entire process, or that of Nsawa Medredri?
Not that one alone. In fact, the other ones too, we injuncted it as a thing. Apart from the Adojiri one, the other ones too, we injuncted it. It is only those ones they have not done the collation yet that we have taken out. For instance, I have our North-Southwest and I have our North. Those ones, there was no collation. I mean, they vandalized the place. Security went and shot and vandalized the place. So they couldn't collate their results. Those ones, we've taken it out. Apart from that, the rest of the constituencies where collations were done and returning officers declared NDC winners, they cannot do any collation. And we are insisting. We have been telling them this. They should stop that illegally. Which part of the CI allows them to do recollation? They don't have that power.
Okay, so let me just quickly clarify. From the indication I got, they are going to be resuming the collation of results for some of the disputed constituencies. So if it is collation, I'm assuming this should be for those that have not been collated at all.
Well, that one there we have no issues with them. We told them. But anytime they are talking of collation, they go about mentioning Tema Central, Blakema, North, and then Dominic Kwabenya and all those things. This one they cannot, because that one is done deal. The returning officers have finished their work. They collated the results and announced it. And so they cannot go back there and do anything. It is only Sawam Adojiri, which was not complete, Afano Southwest, and that of Afano. These three constituencies could not complete their collation. And so it is understandable if they say they want to continue. Yes, we will go there, but there are issues we raise with them because we will not accept any collation with that original pin sheet. Anything less than that, we won't accept it. We're going to bring from any document outside this, and we are not accepting anything from any opponent. The onus lies on the EC to do the collation.
So would you be surprised if then it happens that in this notice to resume the coalition, they include constituencies such as, for instance, Ablikoma North, Dom Kwabenya, and then the others that you point to as having already been declared?
We will not accept it. We will resist it. That's why we've gone to court. We don't want any illegality, or we don't want any disturbances whatsoever. That's why we ask them to respect the court. The court will make a declaration on it, whether those declared were properly declared or not. Then we'll move on from there. But they cannot constitute themselves to judges and start declaring constituencies which were already declared as not properly done.
Okay.
They are not judges.
Well, there's a part where the EC says that it should not be the practice where, for instance, people are forced to declare results. I mean, they do so under duress. That should not be the acceptable way. That is not something the Electoral Commission would support.
When they say people were forced or put under duress to declare results, the question I will ask you, when have they become judges to define duress? When have they become judges? Does it lie in their bosom to define duress? It's a law court that can define duress. They should allow the law courts to handle that and find out whether they were actually forced to declare or not. But they should not constitute this. Otherwise, we also raise issues with all the seats won by MPP that they were forced to declare them winners. And that one too was under duress. Is that the path they want us to go? If you lose an election, go about telling lies that people were forced to declare. But Jim Mensah were forced to declare your mama as winner. What are they talking about?
Doc, thank you very much for your time. We're grateful that you're able to speak to us.
I'm grateful.
You had us speak to the Deputy Director of Elections of the NDC, Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Let's now return to the studio and talk to Jones Aji, who has the very latest in the world of sports. Jones, what's in sports?
Right, so Ghana has dropped 4 places in November's FIFA rankings after the Black Stars, of course, failed to qualify for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. Ghana was previously ranked 73rd in the world in October, and now they've fallen back to the 78th position. Okay, still on the Black Stars, former assistant coach who is now coach.
We have said this process is our recall of our domestic competition structure and our reorganization of our football. And I believe that these boys are going to bring something that is very unique in the way we want to play.
All right, Tottenham Hotspur take on Manchester United in the EFL Cup tonight at 8 p.m. That's all for sports. My name is Jones Aji.
Thank you very much, Jones, for bringing us the very latest in the world of sports. Now, We know that the festive season is almost here, and people will be out there to celebrate, attending a lot of parties, among others. Well, the Ghana Health Service, they are worried. They fear that if people don't adhere to the various safety precautions, we are likely to record a surge in cholera cases after the festive season. We have been speaking to the Health Promotion Officer at the Greater Accra Regional Health Directorate, Nasiratu Imoro. I spoke to her on the Morning Star. Have a listen.
Some of the key challenges are people adhering to these simple behaviors. These are simple things that you shouldn't even wait for somebody to come and tell you. Yet, we go out to churches, we go to mosques, we go to the community. Some places, they've even banned festivals and other things. Yet, you see people having these festivals, and in turn, they drink, they eat, and the cases will definitely get higher. So our biggest challenge is adherence. People are not willing. What we were expecting is that this is an unhygienic condition which shouldn't have led us to where we are now. But because we individuals, we are not adhering to a lot of the protocols, hand washing after visiting the toilet, before cooking, after touching any surface, or using hand sanitizer. These things are basics, but people are having it difficult to adhere to. And that is our biggest challenge.
Going into the Christmas, are you worried?
Yes.
Why are you
worried? Because Christmas, people definitely have other activities. They'll be tired. They'll wish, let me go and get some food somewhere and have a rest. And where you are going to buy the food, you don't know the source of it. You don't know the hygienic nature of that particular food. And festive season is basically meant to have fun. Yes, so in having fun, you drink, you eat, you do all manner of things. And in turn, if we don't take care of ourselves during the festive season or after the festive season, we might have surge of cases again. Yes.
And so you're warning that if people do not take precaution, we are likely to record a surge in cases after the festivities. Now people are going for the Christmas. They will want to enjoy themselves. What do you say to them, especially when in the area of cholera?
Yes, I will advise that if you are listening to me, you ensure that you cook your own food, you adhere to strict washing of hands with soap and the running water, or you use hand sanitizer when there is no water. You avoid the eating of cold food, which you yourself, you are not sure of the source, so you should be able to avoid those cold food. Or if you can't avoid them, you can prepare them yourself. And ensure that your household are safe. Let's try to adhere to all the protocols so that we can stay safe after the festive season.
You heard there the Health Promotion Officer at the Greater Accra Regional Health Directorate, Nasiratu Imoro, there speaking earlier on the Morning Star. On that note, remember to stay safe out there as we head into the festive season. That'll be it for the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. My name is Nadi Diteti. We'll be shortly crossing over to the Electoral Commission headquarters, where the chairperson of the commission, Jean Meza, is expected to address the press as well, as and when it starts. As and when she starts addressing, we will cross over there. My name is Adi Diteti. Have a good afternoon.